Canada's newest Human Rights Commissioner has resigned before he assumed his duties. The exit follows weeks of controversy about his appointment. The CBC's Janice McGregor joining me now live from Ottawa. Janice, out of the job before day one, what happened?
Yeah, very sort of interesting saga as it has kind of played out over the last few weeks. Of course, the Canadian Human Rights Commission is the body that does research, upholds human rights in Canada, but most essentially is in charge of litigating complaints, mediating complaints about discrimination in this country. And as such, very important for the commissioner heading up that body to be seen as fair and beyond reproach and without any personal conflicts or views that might become problematic if they were asked to oversee a dispute over which they had been found to, in the past, have made statements indicating a bias one way or the other. At issue here is a series of tweets that Burju Ditani made when he was a graduate student in England and was posting under a different name, the name Mujahid Ditani. These posts were concerning to Jewish groups in particular who brought the complaint about this because they believed they were anti-Semitic. There are references in some of the things that he was posting on social media, comparisons to Israel as being an apartheid state, making comparisons of the current situation of Palestinians in Israel, Holocaust comparisons, and also some time when he was at the London School of Economics lecturing as part of, quote, Israel Apartheid Week. Also, in his application to be the Human Rights Commissioner, Mr. Ditani did not disclose his past activities as a graduate student in London, nor did he disclose that he has at various points in different contexts used different names. Now, there was a law firm asked by the Minister of Justice, Arif Rani, to review the facts of this case. And Mr. Ditani had a chance to get a lawyer, make submissions of his own. He did not feel that what he was being accused of was legitimate or fair, argued he wasn't anti-Semitic. And indeed, it's a 48-page report that the Justice Minister's office has made public this afternoon. And they find that they can't say that he harbored or harbors any beliefs that would be characterized as anti-Semitic, or that he has demonstrated any biases, conscious or unconscious, towards Jews or Israelis. According to this report, was careful to constrain his criticism of Israel to the state of Israel and not to extend that to the Israeli people or the Jewish people. That said, though, in the report, it does say that he intentionally omitted the reference to having a different name or a pseudonym, that the explanation he gave about not being fulsome about the different names he's used was not credible, that he didn't include periods of employment and unemployment until he was specifically asked to do so in terms of his employment history. And there were parts of the application process where he was specifically asked if he had a conflict of interest or if he had done anything that could bring the government of Canada into disrepute. And he had answered no and no to that. And obviously, now we have had this controversy. So today, after initially just stepping aside while this investigation could take place, we do have a statement now of resignation from Burju Ditani. I'll just show you in brief. He says, I've agreed to resign as Chief Commissioner of the Canadian Human Rights Commission effective today, August 12th. He remains a steadfast believer in the Commission's work mandate and its importance to our democracy. And I'll say on his LinkedIn page, he has posted some additional material, about 18 pages or so, that he wants people to know about his views in his past and his response to the complaints made against him. We have a statement also from the Justice Minister talking about how he carefully reviewed this investigation. And he says the findings speak for themselves. He's accepted the decision to step down as Chief Commissioner. Maintaining the confidence of all Canadians in the Canadian Human Rights Commission remains my top priority. So a troubling kind of series of events where you sort of have someone named, then complaints, then an investigation, then questions about whether the vetting process for this person turned up everything perhaps a minister would want to know before a very high-profile and key position was filled. But nevertheless, as you said off the top, his time as commissioner over before it began.
Janice, what happens now? Because as you say, now there's an empty post, but also plenty of questions about the vetting process.
Yeah, for sure. So this statement from the Justice Minister says that the process to find a new Chief Commissioner is going to begin as soon as possible. In the meantime, there's been an interim Chief Commissioner, Charlotte-Anne Maliszewski, I may not have said that name wrong, I apologize, has been serving and will continue to serve Canadians in this post. So it's not vacant per se, there's just been someone doing it on an interim basis. But as you say, will they do the vetting process a little differently, particularly in this era of social media posts where people might use different names online than they use on their legal documents? Will they have to change how they look at things like this? I think that's one of the outstanding questions going forward. But I suppose the other one, and you know, while issues in the Middle East continue to evoke strong opinions, strong emotions, and while people who are interested in the field of human rights may have indeed past in academia, in writing, in social media posts, weighing in with views about this. What are the guardrails for someone's free speech or academic views? What is it okay to say and not okay before you are named to a key post like this? This is going to engage a lot of people who are concerned about free speech in this country and what is considered an acceptable view or not. Nevertheless, when you are talking about the very kind of delicate work of litigating human rights complaints, the need to be very neutral and beyond reproach, obviously a key consideration, all the while you do want to be sort of representative and providing opportunities for people with different points of view. So I would hazard to say this is not going to be an easy process to find another person to take this post, but the stakes are very high if you don't get someone that everyone agrees is credible.
The CBC's Janice McGregor in Ottawa. Thanks, Janice.
You're welcome.